This is your girl, Vanna. You are now tuning in to the Hood Talks podcast, where community voice matters. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Hood Talk podcast. The Hood Hill segment is what is happening right now. Shout out to our co-host.
Hey, it's your girl Shante Love. How you doing today, sis?
One day at a time. That is my motto. One day at a time. So that's how we rolling. Got a guest with us today. Last time we didn't have a guest. It was all about me and you. But we got a guest today. What's going on, Mr. Ronnie?
How y'all doing? What's up? How y'all doing today?
We doing good. I need you to go ahead and let us know. Who are you?
Well, my name is Ronnie Amiin. I'm just a regular old dude. I do a lot of work in the community. I represent a number of different organizations. I represent Better Family Life. I represent Black Men Build. Black Men Build is an organization that encourages Black men to take more responsible roles in our communities and our household, really transforming to be the curious moment in history. And I represent Freedom Community Center. I'm the outreach coordinator for Freedom Community Center, which is a restorative justice organization that seeks to build power in our community and cultivate spaces of healing, safety, and reconciliation. So that's what I do. That's who I am.
A clap in the background because yes, sir, yes.
Yes. Super excited to learn more about Black Men Build and all that you do in the community. But we're going to get this show kicking off with how we do. Check in. We need to do a mental health check. Who we checking on today? That's where we at. Mental health check in. Who we checking on today? Go ahead, Shante.
Who we checking on today? Girl, I don't know. Celebrities is just popping like crazy. You know who I want to do a mental health check in? It ain't even got to be a celebrity. Aries men. I'm gonna do a mental health check in on Aries men. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know what's going on with you, with your fellas. I'm concerned, a little perturbed. Also, I want the best for y'all because y'all keep trying to attract this Taurus energy and it ain't aligning like it should be. So I just want to check in on them Aries men. Like they just keep coming around, but they're not staying around. I don't know what's happening. We need to check in, fellas. I don't know what's going on.
You one of them zodiac people.
I'm not for real, but it just so happens that the most of the men that like have gotten to certain levels with me end up being Aries. Like I don't even believe in zodiacs because I think personality-wise, you can list all that stuff down and that can go to a number of people. But for some reason, that's just what's happening. I don't know if it's me. I don't think so though, because the common denominator is Aries men. So that's what I'm gonna associate it with.
Y'all chicks be crazy with these. Y'all take it too far. You be like, girl, I don't like the way he chew. Them Virgos chew to the side, and I don't like how Virgos chew. I don't
do that. I don't do that.
I don't know. I'm a little. That probably be me because I be like, you a what? You a Scorpio? Oh, I'm scared. Like my partner here, Gemini, and we mix. So I'll be like, I can see a Gemini. We get along. As they say, we mix. So I don't know. I probably am one of them crazy ones. Like, what's your sign?
Yeah. I don't even go. I don't do none of that.
I ain't like that. Like, I don't even want to know because honestly, I don't even want to know your birthday up front because I ain't trying to buy you nothing right out the bat.
Oh, wow. You straight up cheapskate. I don't celebrate birthdays either, but I didn't think you was cheap like that. Yo, who are you?
I said right off the bat. I'm just saying, I gotta at least know you 7 months.
7 months? Oh, man.
He trying to call me out. I'm frugal.
He said 7 months.
What about
Then you can start getting gifts
snacks?
like.
It's snacks.
Oh, I got kids. I always got snacks. No, that's a love language. I gotta feed you.
I'm cool on everything else, but you gotta rock.
She just ain't buying you no tennis shoes. That's all. You can get some snacks, but you ain't getting no tennis shoes.
Right, I ain't buying no tennis shoes. That's all.
We ain't doing that. Okay, I got you. Oh, okay, Mr. Ronnie, who you checking on?
I'm actually checking on a family member, my little brother. We experience the highs and lows in life, and we have challenges that sometimes seem insurmountable. And I know my little brother, he's carrying a lot. He's in the process of trying to get custody of his son back. And I know it's weighing on him, and I would really want to be there to support him, but I'm always thinking about him. I love my little brothers and my little sister. So that's who I'm checking on, my little brother.
That's what's up. Shout out to you checking on little bro. Definitely wishing and sending him some positive vibes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For having his back like that too. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, definitely checking on little brother.
Yeah.
All right, Anna.
Well, I'm gonna check on black men, period.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm checking on black men, period, and that's why we're here today. Because I think we don't talk about black men mental health enough. And black men healing and black men thriving.
We don't have enough of it. So we appreciate
I agree. So I'm checking on all black men out there. Definitely, y'all. We checking on Aries especially though. But we checking on all the black men. I am, because it's a lot going on in the world. And I seem to see that black men is like targeted on all levels right now. So even in the political space, they talk about black men, and it's like, really? So that's what I'm checking on.
Yes.
Well, thank you for checking on us. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you for being here to represent, because I know a lot of times people try to make people feel like they like are the only black man on the planet. But thank you for being here to represent black men, period. And talking about the work that you all are doing. Shante, wait, we got one more. Hug, high five, and hanging out with. So, who we doing?
You want Ronnie to go first? You want me to go first?
No. I ain't going first.
Billy, you go first then. Hug, high five, hang out.
Who I'm hugging? I'm hugging myself. I'm gonna give myself a hug today. I need it. I think I just need a hug. I need to probably check on myself too, but I'm gonna give myself a hug. I'm gonna high five. I'm a high five. Who am I gonna high five? Who did something positive today? You know what? I'm a high five. And people probably gonna be like, really? I'm gonna high five Kelly Rowland, because I loved her in her acting space. I'm like, okay, Kelly, I see you.
Because you know how Tyler Perry movies can go. And that one definitely, it had its moments, but Kelly held it together because they want to book her again because they weren't going to have her do too much nonsense.
Yes. She was all put together very well too. So I'm going to give that girl a high five. Like, you did that, sis. I'm glad for you. And who I'm hanging out with, I need to hang out with my girls. Where the girls at? So we can have some girls time. So
overdue for a girls' night, for sure.
Me and you both.
Now, Ronnie, since you got the gist of it, who you want to hug, hang out, and high five?
Hug. I want to hug my mama. She was supposed to have surgery Monday, but a cardiologist and her surgeon looked over her tests and realized that she had improved so drastically that she doesn't need the heart surgery right now. So I want to hug on my mama. I want to high five this brother named AJ McQueen, hip hop artist extraordinaire, and he has a lot of music that is based off of black men healing, black men thriving, and he has this song called Anxiety. that I just love, right? And I'm just upset that I'm just now finding out about this group. And hang out with, there's somebody I think is so cute, right? I ain't gonna say her name, but she's so cute. She is so adorable. I just wish we were compatible because I would make her more than a hangout buddy. But I don't know that yet, so I'm just gonna admire her from afar.
I was like, go shoot your shot on the Hood Talks podcast. That would be super dope.
I mean, Ronnie, we can talk when the show is over with. I don't know why you're trying to say we can talk offline. I mean, we could definitely discuss that.
Okay.
Y'all be all serious and I'm out here playing. I'm just saying, he knows he can talk to me offline. It's okay. We can talk about that later. No, but
I thought you already
I play
knew.
too much. Okay.
Disclaimer. I love y'all.
Right. I'm gonna get it together. Probably not today, but I'm gonna get it together.
Who you
That's
husband?
exactly the same thing you
All
said.
right, so I am.
You left your toothbrush at my apartment. You said you was gonna get it. I just playing. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. She wanted to play. I just wanted to play too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It was crazy. We'll talk about it. See, you try to about to make me turn red in this thing.
It's like, let me find out. Okay.
That's why I can't.
That's how we got the hookup. That's how we got the exclusive with Mr. Ronnie. Okay. Y'all.
She was like, hey, since you doing favors.
Okay. Let me.
Okay, girl. Who you hugging? High fiving?
I'm about to log off. He about to me.
Got you. This about
hanging out with. All right, who I'm hanging out with. I know. I had to flustered and stuff trying to catch me off guard. Let me get back. I'm gonna hang out with all the female comics on the STL scene. There is so much love, and they love to pit Black women against each other. Baby, I done almost met or encountered almost every Black female on the scene in St. Louis. Not all of them, most of them. I think there might be a few I haven't crossed paths with. Baby, it is love every time, no animosity, always words of encouragement, baby, because there's so many tables out here. It's so much to eat. Ain't nobody worried about the next. And I just love that, especially for someone who came into the space not intentionally. It just kind of happened and then kept rolling with it and to get that love and support from other Black female comedians. Maybe that's what I'm hanging out with every time. Who I want to high five? I want to high five myself, okay? I done started a new job, got deeper into my career when it came to mental health and assisting people in this new position that I'm in, juggling, taking care of my mom and my kids. I'm out here doing it. And high five, kudos back to me.
That's what's up. Speaking of, you said, oh, my bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, speaking of comedians, high five to Precious J, high five to Miss Pretty, high five to, what's the sister name, Noonie, high five to the
Yeah.
Those are some
Ronnie J.
Black women comedians doing their thing. So thank you for shouting them out.
Yeah, because we out here in St. Louis, we out here. Who I want to hug? See, it ain't even to be. I already had this before. He said, I'd hug Ronnie. I mean, that's only because if you have ever hugged Ronnie, it is something about having, I don't know what it is. It's the comfort. And then brother always smelling just like top tier A1. You know, so if I had to hug somebody, it'd be Ronnie, because Ronnie give you them safe, comfortable, but not like too much of a hug. It's just enough to be like, I got you, Black sister. And I'm like, you do, don't you? Like, you can take an extra deep breath when he hugs you. That's
so safe in them arms. Yeah,
I do. And I like even knowing him in a short period of time and not even that well. It's just like, it's not so many times when people hug you, especially in the entertainment scene, that you don't feel a little creeped out or something like that, but it's not when Ronnie hugged you. And I'm saying, brother always smelling top tier, so I don't mind.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right then, y'all. I love it though. That's what's up. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for being a good sport and participating in our shenanigans. Thank you. We really appreciate it. That is something new that we are bringing to the space. But definitely it's fun. I love Shante because baby, she had me over here like cheeks on her every time. So to get into the topic, because mental health is it's a tough topic to talk about. I think a lot of times, and that's why I love Shante because she gonna bring light to this space where I'll be like, I'm so like mental health, and we need that balance. And so wanted to just ask you, why do you think mental health, especially for Black men, is important?
Of course, mental health is reflective of our internal well-being. It's how we view and frame the world before us. It's how we interact with people we encounter throughout the day. So yeah, mental health is extremely important, and I wish that we would place more emphasis on the soundness of our well-being, mental health, and provide resources to support people throughout the course of their lives and throughout the course of their day. Communities spend a lot of money toward things, man, that really doesn't matter. But we know that mental health is so crucial. And I just wish that as a community, I wish that our city officials, I wish those who were elected to represent us would take it more seriously, especially considering the conditions of our community. So it's extremely important. But as a Black man, it's one of the more top tier concerns. So I'm with Black Men Build. And we're a national organization, but we have a chapter in St. Louis, and we're doing phenomenal things for the upliftment of our community. But what we do know is that if we are not good ourselves internally, we are no good to our community. So aside from all of the other programs that we have, we know that mental health is so important that we're cultivating spaces of healing for Black men, where Black men can be vulnerable, Black men can be open, Black men can have a space to release and unburden without the fear that our vulnerability used against us, and get supported by other Black men. And we call these men's circles. So I myself, I know mental health is important. I facilitate St. Louis's men's circle, but Black Men Build understands the importance of mental health for Black men when it comes to protecting our family and facilitating the affairs of our communities. Black men come, we get some check-ins, and we just talk about what's happening in our lives. And we have some deep conversations. But in order for these conversations to really take place, we gotta be familiar with one another. We gotta feel safe. And we just cultivating this safe space for Black men. We just sit in a circle and we talk. But it's not all doom and gloom. It's not all the worries and concerns. We take time to acknowledge the joys that are happening in our lives, man, because we don't get time enough to express the joy that's happening, to stop and just appreciate the people we have in our lives, the blessings that come before us, and then we celebrate with one another. So, yeah, it's a healing circle, but it's just simply a space where we can just be, and get supported by other Black men.
There's also a mentorship program with men, with the men's circle in that also too, or is that with the Freedom Center? I don't want to get it mixed up. I know I saw something about a mentorship program.
Well, so I'm Black Men Build. We do have a mentorship program with young men, but we also partner with other organizations that specialize in mentorship. But with the healing circles, what we do is, again, we not only release, we not only celebrate with one another, but we save a portion of the meetings to network and to really get to know one another and figure out what each one of us are doing and try to determine in what areas can we support one another. So it's just not like a mentorship, but we're actually building networks of support for one another.
That is amazing, Ronnie. Oh, that. How old do you have to be? Because I know, because the reason why I asked about the mentorships, I feel like I can't remember if I was on the Freedom Circle website or if it was the Black Men Build, where I saw something about mentorship for young men. So, in the
Okay.
men's,
So at first we were saying that at first we wanted the minimum to be about 16, 17, because we are talking about real grown man issues, right? But what happened was there was sisters, man, coming by, dropping off their sons and their nephews who were like 14 and 13-year-olds. And of course, we ain't about to turn them away. And we allowed them to come in the circle. And we realized that there was a need. There was a need for these young brothers to come in the circle for a number of different reasons. Because young men today are experiencing some things that they shouldn't have to experience as young men. And they need the guidance of men, the reflections of men, the insight, the wisdom of men. So they get that benefit, but they also get an example of what it looks like for grown, mature, and healthy men have pro-social communications and see what it is like to have a conversation that is healthy, that is respectful, even when we disagree. So they get a model of how Black men are supposed to communicate with one another. So we've been allowing the brothers to come in, man, who are 13 and 14-year-olds, because we understand that there's a need. So, but in the future, we are going to be cultivating spaces for young men, specifically for young men. We're going to partner with organizations who do the mentorship of young men, because that's not really our bag, but we're opening to that because there is a need for it. Yeah. So, yeah, they can come in, 13, 14. But if nobody drops off the 13 or 14-year-olds, we're gonna have them grown man conversations again and get a little gritty and raw. But when they come in a circle, we make sure that we give them special attention to their issues, give them space to share.
That's right.
That was the first thing, one of the first things that I wanted to make sure we touched base on, because when I saw that, I immediately thought of, like, Vanna has all girls. Like, I'm raising a Black young man. He's 14 now. So that was one of the first things I thought when I saw the men's circle, because he did have a big brother from another organization. And it took a while to get him a big brother because they did really kind of cater to it. But I told them, I was like, I wanted him to have an African American mentor. So we had to wait almost a year until we got that, because not a lot of brothers were volunteering to be big brothers at the time.
There are so many organizations now that are springing up, man, that are specializing in mentorship of young men. There's an organization, a program called The Village. Look into this organization. They're doing some phenomenal work with these young Black kids, man. So there are a lot of organizations and programs popping up because, again, there is a need. So, and of course, I'm a man. I'm speaking on behalf of young Black men, but we also need these spaces for young Black girls too. So, yes.
Even like we have a 2-parent home, but I think it's different from a parent than an outside source. And if I'm your parent, sometimes you're not gonna want to feel comfortable saying certain things to me that you can say to a mentor. So I think mentorship is important in our aspect of our culture and community, period.
Yeah, not only that though, just as there are so many negative social influences that we have to look out for, It's good that we cultivate spaces where we have a lot of good positive influences to reinforce what they're learning at home or within the family. So there's never not a need for more influences. So you can have mentors, you can have older friends, family members, and we really need to cultivate the spaces where we could protect our children, pour into our children, and ensure that our children have spaces of safety, So yeah, mentorship is necessary as it relates to keeping our children safe.
That is real. I have a question back to the mental health part of it. How can we make it more normal for Black men to embrace mental health?
Um, I, a lot of times when we talk about issues, um, even though programs are good, systems are good, right? Um, but I think the more benefit comes from our interpersonal relationships with the people in our lives. And it's important that we express the necessity of being sound um, internally. It's good to express how we feel, what we feel for our loved ones and our family members, and when we're concerned about a thing, express that concern. Um, it's so important to express support for our people. Um, and no one can have a greater impact than the people who are closest to us. So it's important, I think, that before there's a system, before there's a program, that it needs to come from our personal relationships. So that's I think it begins there. But then we know that systems and programs require funding and public support. So that's where we get organized, right? And we identify those things that our community needs, right? And then we mobilize the people around those particular things, and it starts within our household, and then in our neighborhoods, and then our communities, and then throughout our city. So we just got to galvanize around those issues that are important to us, and then make sure that those resources are poured into our community. So whether they're mental health resources, whether they're substance abuse resources, whether they're resources for the unhoused, like we got a lot of money to address the things that ail our community. We just got to make sure those who we select to be empowered to represent us, we got to make sure that they know that too.
I definitely want to talk with you when you said about resources when it comes to mental health and substance abuse, the organization that I work for now, to see how we can link up to provide some information for some of the people that utilize the space that you're in. Because like you said, it's definitely needed. And I know the organization you're currently with now has those resources. So hopefully it could be of service. So definitely want to make sure I share that with you as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And that's how I start too, that networking, in supporting one another, whether it's individuals or organizations or initiatives. That's how it starts. Because not one organization, not one entity, not one person can do it all. We need to form the type of network that our community needs to service, to service those needs. So I appreciate you, Queen. Thank you.
Another barrier that you feel like is limiting Black men from accessing mental health?
Cultural, relevant therapy, mental health professionals who look like us, who come from where we come. Because a lot of times, man, we are assessed by people who haven't had our experience. A lot of times, our brothers and sisters are misdiagnosed. A lot of times, our real issues are dismissed. And they don't understand the importance of it. And they don't understand the impact of systemic racism has on our collective mental health. Ain't no way that we could experience what we experience as a people and not be impacted by that. And there is no collective, I'm talking about collective westernized initiative to address this. You got all the other studies. You got to study about what's on the moon. You got to study what's on the bottom of the ocean. But you don't have a study to think about how your system has impacted our people, right? So that's one of the biggest hurdles as well. And that also gets in the way of resources and funding. And that is directly linked to how people view us, how people see us, how people value us. So we don't need to wait on them anymore. We got the power in our community to facilitate our needs. You know what I'm saying? So we just need to organize around the issues that are important to us. We place the people who could support and help us, give us the type of help we need, put them in place, and we good. You know what I'm saying? But we just got to show up and organize. But yeah, culturally sensitive therapy. I think that's one of the hugest barriers. Yeah, we just a lot of people don't trust. We don't trust that westernized psychology and medicine. We don't trust them more racist practices. We don't trust them people, man, who really don't give a damn about our people. So
I so agree. My therapist is black, and that was one of the conversations that we was having today. Was like, she was like, I studied this, but I don't apply this.
yeah, most of that stuff, man, is framed with a Eurocentric lens, and man, our people don't have a chance when it comes to that stuff, man. So yeah,
Not because you don't understand it. If you don't understand it, you don't know how to identify it or address it.
Or if you don't care to understand it. That whole yeah,
it is. And we see it represented not only in mental health, but every aspect, medical, business, everything, you know. So that lends to the idea that, again, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's so important that we coalesce around the issues that impact our community. We organize, we mobilize, and we address our issues. Nobody from outside of our community should have a say in how we facilitate our affairs, how we live, how we love on one another, how we treat one another, how we support. So it's just time for us to do it, and we got the power. And everybody who look like us and represent us, when they don't represent our issues, they don't give us the resources that we need, they don't fight for us, we remove them. We call them out and we remove them. So we at that time. We at that crossroads. That's what time we are.
The crowd. I was like, yes, brother. I'm ready to mobilize. I got the black on. Let's stop playing.
Hey, let's go. Stop playing. Let's go. Dang. I know. I ain't got nothing to say now. I feel like, what other questions do we got? Like, just drop the mic. Hey, that's what it said is what it said.
We are doing it. We are doing a lot for ourselves, right?
And I think we have to give grace, in a sense, to the fact that what you just said too, that a lot of people aren't prepared to get into that mindset. So what do we do for those folks? I know you said leave them behind. That's what.
No. Never leave. I don't believe in leaving our people behind. I'm specifically talking about the people who undermine the interests of our community.
I got
the people who know about our issues, but yet they sell us out time and time and time again. I'm talking about those people.
Gotcha.
But again, for other people, sometimes, man, people are just unaware, and it's important for us to become studious. It's important for us to become aware and just share the information, not force feed, but share information with our people. Be as gentle as we can with our people. We know that we ain't got the way we got overnight. We know that's going to be a process, but that's just the cost of loving on your people. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be patient with our people, because there was once upon a time in my life where not only did I not contribute to the uplifting of my people, but there's a time that I committed harm to my people. And that's what my life is based off of now. Process of my push for reconciliation and safety for our community is my path of redemption for the harm that I created in my youth. So when I was 19, I committed acts that led me to prison. You know what I'm saying? And I was fortunate enough that when I went to prison, there were individuals who were never going home. But their pathway of redemption was pouring into the younger brothers coming in. So we'll be better off going to our families than we were when we came in. So I'm so fortunate to receive that type of mentorship and guidance from brothers, man, who said that the system said are so dangerous that they can't live. They are transforming people's lives. You know what I'm saying? So I know they ain't dangerous. So in honor of them, I'm coming out and I'm doing the work that they sent me out here to do. But yeah, part of it is my pathway of redemption. So we creating systems, we're creating programs, we are creating initiatives that serve our community. And if I could, I want to talk about a couple of the initiatives that are centered in wellness, and health for our people. And one of those initiatives is called the Now Initiative. And Now Initiative stands for New Opportunities for Wellness. And it's actually, the purpose is to nurture community members' power, to cultivate spaces of safety, cultivate spaces of healing, of well-being in neighborhoods that have been impacted by harm and violence. And this initiative is facilitated by the Black Healers Network in Vanna. Rebecca said, "What's up? How you doing?" You didn't think I knew, huh?
About mentors and people that inspire you. I love
yes. Yo, when I first heard her speak, so this is the second iteration of the Now program. This is the second cycle. The first cycle we did last year, and I was actually a participant in it. And I was hearing her speak in the classes, right? And I was so in awe, right? I was like, yo, I'm not no thug. I don't believe in tattoos, but I would get your name tattooed across my chest like Thug Life and Pac. Like that's how raw she is. She's like, boy, you better not let my husband hear you say that or you gonna have some lumps. But she's so dope though, right?
She is. She is. I swear she is.
She's so dope and she's such a treasure for our community. So they're facilitating this training course called Now. Like I said, last year it was in Baden and Walnut Park. This cycle is going to be in JBL, Fairground, O'Fallon, and College Hill, and we're getting 25 people from within these communities to be a part of this cohort where they'll learn intervention strategies, wellness strategies, community building, how to respond to violence, to recover from trauma and harm. And it's a 4-month-long course, 1 to 3 times a month, and there's a stipend. So not only are you getting these skills, this training, these strategy trainings, but you're going to get paid for going through the training course.
Yes.
And then afterwards, the 25 people will be tasked with creating 2 community wellness and healing events called the Healing House. You know, like in a house, like every room represents some form of wellness or healing. Last year was so beautiful, man, so African-centered, so organic and beautiful. Oh my goodness, man. So we're having it this year, and we're focusing on these neighborhoods. So if you are connected to these neighborhoods, you are qualified to be in this program. I promise you will love it. And if you have an interest, you can reach out to me, call me directly. You can give my personal number is 314-403-2349. This is I live and I sleep this. So if I'm not asleep and you call, I'm gonna answer. And all you got to do is say, brother, put me on the roster. I want to be in the program, and then you can come out to our first orientation on March 28th. If you can't make that, April 13th. So you got individuals who are absolutely interested in the wellness of our people, so they're creating programs and initiatives to address the harms that happen in our community and promoting healing and wellness. So that's one of the things. You get in the street and you do the work.
Yes, man, because heal people. So
that's right.
That part.
Yeah, we focus on the other part of that too often. Hurt people. Yeah. We don't focus on the other part. Heal people.
Yep.
Yes. And I love the fact that we talked about the fact that you're never too far gone to learn from what you've been through and do better and show others that you're like. When you shared your story, I'm just like, a lot of people could have just turned and been like, how society want to make it seem like, well, you was like this, so you're always going to be like that. No, I'm not. And I have a community of people that say I'm not, that hold more value than any other system outside here that doesn't care what's going on with me or my neighborhood. So
that's right.
Shout out to that, because yes.
Yeah, that's right. And plus we got too many examples. You know what I'm saying? We got too many examples. We got the Malcolms, you know what I'm saying, who gives us a prime example of what transformation looks like. And most people who go through the system, most people who have had issues, all, the only thing is that in their formative area of life, they just had some things that they just wasn't able to navigate. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the coping skills to navigate life's issues. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't no bad kid. I wasn't evil. You know what I'm saying? I was misguided. And there are people who acknowledge that. So when we see our young brothers and sisters in the street wilding, we have to understand that those are our children. We have to humanize them, right? And grant them grace, give them space to evolve and grow and understand that they didn't get that way overnight. You know what I'm saying? And we have to think about how we contributed to that state. You know what I'm saying? We always complaining. We're always pointing the finger, but it didn't start with them. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at. I see a young brother, man. I'm loving on him. I ain't never gonna be afraid of no. I don't care how big his gun is. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never my enemy. I'm always gonna love on him, and I'm always gonna be willing to die for his existence. I don't care what the system says. I don't care what they say. These are our people, man. And that's where we at. We about the healing and upliftment, and we understand what the true opposition is. The system was designed for all this stuff that's happening to our people. It was designed for that, you know. So I'm grateful for everybody who didn't throw me away, for everybody who embraced me when I came home and allowed me a pathway of redemption. Thank you. And I love you. And I promise you will never, 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 never regret it.
Oh, man. Thank you for that. Because I agree with you. People love to take moments in people's life and say that's who they are forever. And we don't, especially in our community, sometimes we don't give people the time, the space to grow, and change and evolve, especially the youth. And so, man, I'm so glad that you said that and brought that up, because that's important. It's also important in the mental health space. Your mental health can change.
Yes, absolutely. I've seen transformation happen right in front of my eyes, and sometimes it's just as small as community pouring into and community creating a space for you. You'll be surprised at the transformation that happens when someone just believes in you, someone sees you, someone hears you, someone embraces you, and so that's where we at. So we want to cultivate these spaces, man. We ain't never gonna give up on our people. We don't care what what narratives are created against our people. And I'm so fortunate to be in a space to do this work. I work for an organization that specializes in this. So I work for Freedom Community Center, and I am the outreach coordinator. And we exist for the purpose of reimagining safety for our community in terms of how we respond to harm and violence. And we want to create actually a movement of survivors that will impact the harm by creating alternatives to addressing that harm, alternatives that are outside of the system, alternatives that are community based, that are rooted in love, that are rooted in compassion, that are rooted in understanding. So we got two major strategies: peacemaking and power building. Peacemaking means like cultivating conditions that are conducive to healing, safety, and reconciliation. It means supporting survivors of harm, and however we can, whether it's materially, monetarily, but especially therapeutically. But in order to do this in a sustained way, we got to gain power. We got to be able to utilize our voices and our experiences to enact the change we want to see in our community, and to live in dignity. And as I said before, nobody from outside of our community should have a say in how we facilitate our affairs. So we want to empower the people, man. Empower the people, man, to utilize their voice. And much of the work that we do are based on 5 values. One of them is collective liberation. We ain't free till all of us are free. Communal healing, nonviolence as approaches to addressing harm, true accountability, and embracing repair. So those are our values. That's what we're pushing in our community. Those are the things that guide our work. And we're all about promoting healing, reconciliation, and building power in our community.
Yes. I met Tracy at a networking event. And because I knew her as T Spirit.
One of the most prolific, profound poets in this hemisphere. She's so dope, yo.
I've only got to see her twice, but I feel like it still wasn't enough. Like just to, it's really hard to talk about those things to anybody, let alone someone that doesn't look like you or understand what it is that you're going through, and apply that to how to get through to you to get to your healing. Because it's easy to just throw a plan at someone, but if you can't throw a plan and work collaboratively with someone and understand the barriers that they might have, but also help them overcome those barriers in order to get strengthened in their mental health journey, we need a lot more Black people trained in that to help each other. Because I might not want to call the hotline, but if I know my neighbor down the street is certified to kind of talk to me and help me and get resources, then that's what I'm going to do.
That's exactly, that's what we're aiming for, especially with.
I know we heard.
That's exactly what we want, especially with Now Initiative and with Freedom Community Center. We want to train community members with the skills and the tools necessary, man, to address our own issues. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what it is. That's the answer to your question, Vanna.
Yeah, and that's what we need more of.
Yeah.
Safe spaces and within the community to be able to come to. Because like I said, we ain't got enough, but we need a lot of them. And I think that goes back to shout out to Naya. She mentioned something that I think was so valuable about having like the space of the barbershops back in the day and the beauty salons back in the day, and how that was our safe havens and that was therapeutic for us. And how do we utilize that space again to get the people prepared to be able to take on, the healing that our communities need? And I think that is exactly what y'all aiming for too. So thinking about also putting them in those spaces, getting those folks too, who are already a part of the people's community. It may not be their brothers or their cousins or their aunties. It could be, like you said, like the beauty shop lady, the daycare.
Someone that they see. You telling me I can get a fade and I can talk to you about what I'm going through for real. You're trained to assist me and to understand me and also give me resources. So follow me.
Straight up. And we thirsting for we really ready for that. Like I've been in spaces where the most unsuspecting spaces where these beautiful conversations just spring up out of nowhere, and we just enjoying this healthy discussion that's about building, that's about healing, and we're getting to know one another, and we sing and valuing one another. So yeah, we can cultivate those spaces, man. We just gotta want to.
What you just did, we just gotta want to.
You just gotta want to.
Because it's out here. Yeah. It's out here. We just gotta want to. We gotta want to be able to want to hold that space for each other. Yeah. That's real. That's so real. Whew. Well, thank you. I ain't got no more questions. Shante, you got something else that you think we need to uplift?
Ronnie hit it, and I think when we go back to what he just said, with people wanting to, I think the more people start to understand that you don't have to be 100% to help other people, and I think that's why a lot of us don't get into those spaces. It was like, well, if I can't do this and do that, how am I supposed to help somebody else? Sometimes helping other people can help you on your own journey too. Because I was like that for a while before I really dove into when it came to suicide crisis specialists, helping people with mental health. It was like, well, I ain't all the way there. I think the more we start to realize and give ourselves grace, and to be able, you don't have to be 100%. We ain't 100%. That's the reason why we can talk and help one another, because we done been through that stuff. I don't want nobody that ain't been married or dealt with stuff to talk to me about when me and Ronnie get married or whatever like that. I want somebody who's been through stuff. It's okay. You have to realize it's okay not to be perfect, quote unquote. Just have that will and that passion and that love to not harm yourself or others on that path to making sure people have safe spaces. And I think the more people start to realize that, the more, because I'm pushing that, I'm telling you, the spaces I put myself in now, I would have never thought I would, because I stopped myself thinking, like, how can I benefit someone? But now it's like, it's not like the how, like, ooh, how can I? Because I have that understanding and stuff like that. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. I don't know what questions.
That's very important, man. And that reminds me of a saying we have with Black Men Build, because there are a lot of brothers, man, who believe, man, just, their track of life or their lifestyle precludes them from joining in a community building effort. But our saying is, man, come as you are, but grow as you go. It's just about evolving, you know what I'm saying? So we accept you. You ain't gotta have no PhD. You ain't gotta have no suit and tie. You ain't even gotta stand all the way erect. We got you, you know what I'm saying? So you have a space where you can be totally comfortable just to be who you are, you know what I'm saying? So, and you don't know actually what you can offer to somebody who is going through something. Just sharing your experience could impact somebody's life. So it's just about just being willing to be open enough and just to share ourselves with others. That's how it all starts. But growing is important. Evolving is important. But just come as you are.
Growing and evolving is definitely important. That's because sometimes people can be in the space and they ain't trying to grow. And you trying to bring me down with your energy, and I'm trying to still, evolve. I'm like, wait a minute.
Uplift themselves and communities. Never stay stagnant. Always want to keep going.
Always want to grow. There's nothing wrong with growth.
Absolutely not.
Yes, accepting the growth. And I love that y'all said that you can help people where you are. I think that is so valuable. I think a lot of people, and that's why a lot of people don't show up, is because they feel like, what can I bring to the table? But there's so much you can
Everything. Bring that wobbly chart to the table. We'll put something underneath it.
We'll fix it. We'll help you.
Understand the impact, like what a smile can do, what a hug can do, what an encouraging word, a small word can do. So we don't have to come with it all. We just have to come with sincere intentions, man, to value our people, to love on our people, and just to help cultivate a space where our people can be free to be themselves and safe, That's all.
Ooh, safe. Yep, that's it.
Yes. Well, thank you again for bringing your expertise. Thank you for uplifting.
I ain't got no expertise. I'm just a regular old dude.
You ain't got no expertise. You got experience. Okay. You hear me? I say it all the time. Your experience is your expertise. So your experience. You're a Black man, and you've dealt with mental health. You dealt with experiences that led you to, like you said, you coming out now like, hey, I ain't letting nobody down. I'm not even gonna let myself down. And that's important. Like, even if you can't show up for nobody else, show up for yourself.
Yep.
That part.
So I just wanted, before we go
ahead,
share a few things. I mentioned about Freedom Community Center and our power building efforts. So what we got is a space, what we call power builders, where community members can come out. We can talk about the issues that impact our community, and we collectively devise solutions to address them collectively, because the people know what they need. You know what I'm saying? So when we can get in the room and identify what our concerns are, what our issues are, we can come up with the solution. There's a quote, I forgot the brother's name. He said, the people who are closest to the problem are closest to the solution, but furthest away from the resources. So we in this room trying to figure out where the resources are and how we can get them. So we have this meeting on the second Thursday of every month at Mission St. Louis at 6 o'clock. That's 3108 North Grand. If you don't have a ride, call us. We're going to come and get you. And if you're hungry when you get there, we're going to feed you real food. And if you got a kid at home and you ain't got a babysitter, bring the baby too, because we got childcare on scene. That's how invested we are in this community building effort. We want to remove all of the barriers. So again, the second Thursday of every month, 6 o'clock, 3108 North Grand. That's the Power Builder space. For the Black Men Build Men's Circle, Yes, twice a month. The second and fourth Monday. Second and fourth Monday of every month. 7 o'clock. 20 South Sarah. 20 South Sarah. Free parking on the Forest Park side of the building. The building sits on the corner. You come in. You're also gonna get fed not only with food, man, but you're gonna get fed, man, with some brotherly love. And everyone has a space here. Everyone belongs here. And that's that. And again, the Now Initiative. The Now Initiative will be training in wellness and healing practices, community building practices, 4-month training period, and we will develop 2 community healing and wellness events. So if that's interesting to you, please hit me up at 314-403-2349. I got my phone on the hip all the time. And if you experience harm and violence and you don't want to call the police, call us at Freedom Community Center. Same number. We're going to come intervene in your violence, put you in a place of safety, and support you on your track of recovery. And if you got a little brother or sister now who got in trouble and sitting in jail, and you believe that they deserve a second chance, you call us too. We're going to come advocate for them and try to put them into our diversion program. So that it's the same number. Ronnie Amiin, hit me up. Oh, you got these war times too. These are the magazines, official magazines of Black Man Bill.
All right. Any last words, Shante, before we close out, girl?
No, girl, I made sure I wrote everything down because what we gonna heal these communities. We gonna work together. I'm trying to figure out how I can, provide space, because it's one thing to know about it, but what can I do, to assist? Definitely when it comes to you talking about the Freedom Community Center and calling and stuff like that with interventions, because I'm a suicide crisis specialist. Me and Ronnie ain't dating right now, so I got all the free time, to assist with whatever may need.
Stop front. I'm over here trying to figure out what I'm going to cook you. What you want, baby?
I know.
Baked chicken. We got love connections on the Hood Talk podcast. Everything. I can't blame love connections. Hey, y'all, this is what we're doing in the 4th season. I love it. So shout out to everybody that tapped in. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Make sure y'all share this so we can spread the news and spread all the information. Make sure you go ahead and give us a heart and a like and comment below. Tag somebody that you know that might need this resource. And keep tapping in, y'all, because we got so much still to come on this 4th season. So keep tapping in with us. Right?
Thank you for having me.
Bye, guys.
Yay! Thank you for tuning in to the Hood Talks podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and also follow us on all our social media.